Next, we're going to talk about YouTuber Logan Paul files trademarks for NFT marketplace and DAO Ventures. This is coming from CoinDesk. And this is a big deal. You guys got to understand that when we're talking about the adoption of cryptocurrency as it sits right now, the number one sector that is bringing in new, fresh money is the NFT market. And whether or not you think that this is going to be the future, at this time, we're talking about a majority of the transactions on Ethereum and probably just on blockchain as a whole being utilized for this specific scene. So once we start seeing people obviously like Logan Paul come in and start getting into the business, it's like, okay, I don't think personally that NFTs are going anywhere, at least within the next year. And as miners, especially seeing that a lot of this is coming through Ethereum right now, this is good news because it does mean we will have the potential to mine more Ethereum. And let's get into the article. So the social media star and undefeated professional boxer is no stranger to the NFT sector. So YouTube star, internet personality, and undefeated professional boxer Logan Paul is launching his brand into Web3, according to several trademark filings made on February 4th. The first filing, titled Originals by Logan Paul, was submitted under the NFT categorization, and covers downloadable photographs, artwork, art reproductions, digital art files, and image files. The videos authenticated by non-fungible tokens. I guess I need to get into doing more NFTs for video clips, huh? Is that the moral of the story that's going to happen here? The second filing came in under the name Originals DAO and includes provision of an online marketplace for buyers and sellers of downloadable digital collectibles, as well as creating an online community for users to participate in discussions, connect with companies and individuals, and form virtual communities and DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations. That's actually a pretty big one too. But Paul is no stranger to the NFT market. The former Vine star says he spent over $2.6 million on digital collectibles in 2021 and has publicly promoted several projects in recent months. Began collecting NFTs this year, he says in his tweet, acquired 139 NFTs in total, spent $2.645 million. And you can see here that he paid 2.84 ETH in gas fees, which totals $75,000, which is pretty and that was all on OpenSea, which is another point. So point one, these fees go to the miners. All right. Point two, at least right now as it currently sits, stakers, if ETH moves to proof of stake. But point two is everything's being done on OpenSea. And here's the fact of the matter. We're going to go back into that first mover talk. OpenSea is such a dominant platform for NFTs right now that, in my humble opinion, if I'm going to invest in minting, and this comes from experience of minting on other platforms as well, if I mint a new project on OpenSea, it's almost a guarantee, if it has any legs underneath it at all, that once it's minted, I'm going to make a profit. That is not the case on Immutable X, where I have a few gorillas sitting around that don't sell anything. Outside of Gods Unchained, which is where you can actually make money on Immutable X, but it requires a significant time sink in actually playing the game, and whether or not you have that time is going to determine how much you can actually make off of that. Plus, they also have issues of basically not actually paying you out in God's tokens, so you have to trade for God's tokens out of ETH to buy cards, or you have to sell cards for God's tokens. It's kind of a mess. Immutable X needs to do some work. There's also no auction house, really. Another note about OpenSea that I've noticed here recently is it doesn't look like the Polygon Matic portion has an auction that is functioning at this time. So I got to get onto that. But you can see my NFTs down below. We even have some minted on Ergo as well. I just want to make it clear that when we're talking about these large YouTube stars, people that aren't built into the crypto scene and what they're looking at, they're basically downloading MetaMask. They're participating most of the time on layer 1 Ethereum, and they are utilizing OpenSea. And all these things have in common basically first mover advantage. And so if you're looking at investments from that perspective, as far as NFTs go, that's what you need to take into account. I don't think at this point that we're going to see NFTs go away. I think that a lot needs to be done to, well, on OpenSea's platform, secure down at least, make sure that there's no duplicates. I know that they're aware of this issue. Hopefully that gets sorted. And overall, the storage of all of these JPEGs, videos, etc., need to eventually move to some sort of decentralized storage platform to basically hopefully combat future losses based around the current more centralized way of storing this information of going away. Now, that's all dependent on size of the NFT. There are things in the works that do fix this in certain ways. But for the most part, these are the big problems with, of course, not only NFTs, but Web3. Because when we talk about Web3, the biggest issue that we have there is going to, of course, be infrastructure, because there's no way around the fact that a majority of the infrastructure that can run the nodes for decentralized storage, etc., is still controlled primarily by massive corporations, whether that be Google or Amazon or whatever. The good note is, at least from that perspective, is even though a majority of this infrastructure would be still provided by these major corporations, if you have it implemented properly through like something like Flux, for example, the failover should allow you to fail over from Google to Amazon, as opposed to being reliant on a single major company. So it's a little bit better and getting more and more decentralized. It's just an obvious problem, though, that I like to bring up and make sure that people are aware of, because these are technological issues that need to be solved for this to really be a thing in the future. But I don't think it's going anywhere at this time, especially when we're talking about DAOs, NFTs, etc. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Morning Show every Monday through Friday, 7:45 a.m. Pacific and 10:45 a.m. Eastern Time. You can check out more clips here, or if you're interested in checking out the entire live show, you can check that out down here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.